Hey everybody, hope you guys are all doing amazing today. I'm here right now with Evan Jenkins from Jenkins Media, here to share his story of how he became an entrepreneur and the owner and founder of Jenkins Media. So Evan, take us on your journey of how you became the guy who makes all these amazing videos.
Okay, where do you want me to start?
Start with what you're doing before you're doing videos.
Okay, I guess before videos, I spent a long time in university. I was doing post-secondary stuff for about 9 years. And so I'd been in for a long time and I was on track to be a lawyer. So I finished law school, became a lawyer. I was a lawyer for 1 year. And I decided that it either wasn't for me or I need to switch firms and try a different place. And at that time, I was also very interested in video production.
Yeah.
And so I was dabbling in it a little bit, and I decided to take a crack at it and see what could happen. And I've always been a little bit interested in entrepreneurship. University student with a truck, doing like John Collin.
Right. So he was already becoming an entrepreneur during this time. So let's start there. How long were you doing that?
Okay, well, university student with a truck. I started in 2006, and I think I did it it would have been 4 years, and sold it in 2010.
Nice.
And so it was like John Collin going to people's houses and picking up their garbage and their rental material and taking it to the landfill. And so it was fun. And at first I just borrowed my uncle's truck and, had an ad in the newspaper and that was it.
Yeah.
And by the end there, we had 4 trucks and we had, I think, as many as 10 students hired throughout the summer and winter months. And so, it was fun times. And so that's part of the reason that my university career extended a little bit, is that it's very busy doing entrepreneurship stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. So you transferred from you're university guy with a truck to lawyer.
Yeah.
To Jenkins Media.
Yeah.
So tell us what you do with Jenkins Media.
Okay. Well, we do video production, and we focus in the area of story. And so we believe that a story makes a difference between effective corporate video, effective event video, effective wedding video. Doesn't matter what it is. We believe that story makes a difference between something that's going to be interesting and engaging and create an emotional connection with the target audience, and something that doesn't. So something that works and something that doesn't. And so we focus a lot in the area of story. We do a lot of our training and our money goes into the area of story, because we believe that more than equipment or anything else we could do, that story is what's going to
absolutely
get us to where we want. And I know that you believe in story.
I'm a huge promoter of story. Absolutely. Actually, me and Evan, I guess you were in the earlier startup phase of your company when we kind of did our first couple videos, and we've kind of been growing together ever since. So if you in my academy and even on my website, Netmaker.com, most of those videos are done by Evan. So check out his work. It's pretty awesome. Evan, how do you stay motivated? You have a growing family. I believe you just went on a vacation. So tell us how you stay motivated and how you stay balanced with the amount of projects you're taking on.
Probably one of my greatest sources of motivation is business books. And for me, I'm not a big reader, but I enjoy the audiobooks. And so I have an office in Prince Albert, an office in Saskatoon, and travel back and forth at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. And I really like listening to audiobooks on the way to and from. It gives me ideas and inspiration and puts me in a really good frame of mind for doing the work that needs to be done.
Absolutely. No, that's great.
So I would say that. And then also people who are further ahead in my industry. And so guys from the States, guys from who are thought leaders in the industry that I'm in, inspiration from that as well.
Nice, absolutely, awesome. So most likely people out there right now who are watching are newbie video people. Maybe I've had to learn. Everyone has an iPhone, right? So you can start making videos on your iPhone and start editing on those apps. But if there's anyone out there who wants to start getting to making their own videos for entertainment purposes, or maybe even for personal or business purposes, what advice would you have for them?
Yeah, and I guess it depends on what type of video you're trying to make. And today, it's very broad. It can be anything from little short stories to corporate to wedding. So it depends on what you're doing it for. Is it just a passion project, or is it something you're actually trying to make money with? And so I guess the best advice would be do and try as much as you can. Because by doing that, you're gonna figure out what is it that you love and what are you passionate about. Because with me, I would say honestly, what interested me the most at the very beginning was the technology.
Yeah.
I love the technology of like what
Yeah.
video could do, and the picture
Right.
and the sound was like really
Yeah.
amazing to me
Yeah.
always. But as I got further and further into it, I discovered that what I like even more than the technology side is the story side.
Yeah.
Because technology, I realized, could only take me so far.
Right.
And
Right.
then
Right.
when I understood story, it was like that next step and the
Took
next
you to the next
level,
level, right?
which is what I really wanted. But it
Yeah.
took a lot of like trying and things to like figure that out. And so I'd say, if somebody's interested in video, like just try and experiment and practice as much as possible.
Yeah, and I think that makes a good point. Is anything, especially your passion, you're going to have to play around with it for hours and hours and hours on end. I consider myself still an amateur video maker. A lot of these kind of videos are done by myself, and I edit them myself on my laptop. So I'm still learning, But for Evan here, this is his passion, so he's forced to learn all the time. And I'm assuming you have to keep on track with the latest trends and all these other technologies that are coming out there, right? So
yeah, and as far as like trends go, like technology is always going to be changing, but there's certain things that never change, and story is definitely one of those things. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, we love story.
Yeah.
You and I love story. So like I think that like out of all the things that a person could start with, it'd probably be in that area. So like for Selena, who works with me, one of the very first things we did was got her taking a course. It's called Muse Training.
Okay.
So maybe we can put that in the show notes.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Yeah.
It's a little bit pricey, but like for people who are like really interested in learning like the nuts and bolts of story and like how it works and how you can like use it in different things that you're doing, like made a huge difference in like the way we do things and the effectiveness. So yeah, like if somebody's like interested in video production, really of any sort of video production, like I would definitely recommend Muse. It's taught by Emmy Award winning videographers. When you look at their stuff, it's amazing. It's so inspiring to see. And I remember for myself, like looking at the stuff that these guys are doing using basically the same gear that I have versus like the stuff that I was able to do with the exact same gear.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it and just wondering like, what is it that they're doing that I'm not doing? And it's not obvious when you first see it because it's so nuanced and like real story. It's so different than what I ever thought. And so it really made a big difference.
Yeah.
And one of the things that happened is I had done a video production with some local vendors here in town, and it was called Wedding Trends 2015. So have I told you about that?
No.
Well, we were working really hard on it, and I'd spent probably a day of filming and then maybe roughly 20 hours of editing, and we made this little video about Wedding Trends 2015, and it wasn't very good, and I didn't know why. Like there was some problem there, and it was not interesting, not engaging.
Okay.
And so I wasn't really sure what the problem was.
Yeah.
So I scrapped the project, started over from scratch, and tried again. Spent about another 20 hours in editing.
Yeah.
And it still wasn't good. Like there was still a problem with it. And I remember when I'd taken the Muse course just shortly after that, and it was like a light bulb went off in my head. I was like, I knew like almost immediately, okay, this is the problem. This is where like we were missing in the area of story.
Yeah.
And once you start getting that knowledge in that area, it just makes a real big difference in like what you're going to do and how you're going to do it.
I really liked how you talked about you had to invest in outside courses or outside help to get you to another level. And I think that's important. I think a lot of people underestimate that. Personally, I've invested in personal coaching. I've invested in other people's courses. That's how I try to up my game in my business. So I really like that you touched on that because it's a form of mentorship. If you can't get it one-on-one, it's really good to invest in other people's courses. Yeah.
There's a poster in my office and got a picture of my face on it. And it says underneath it, story and knowledge. So like we care a lot about story, but we also care a lot about knowledge. And I think that for myself, that was a big change from when I started, because when I started, it was all about the gear. Like I just love the gear. Today, I like story and I like knowledge, and
I like it.
Like you said, like what can you get, and like coaching, training online is
it's where it's
really
at.
good.
Yeah,
good
absolutely.
way.
I think it's time for you to start putting your stuff online for people out there who want to learn. Because I'd probably buy your course, man, because I want to know more about these things. And people want to learn from people that they know too and can relate to. So I definitely I see a lot of potential there with you.
And maybe someday I will put some stuff online. And like one piece of advice I'd recommend for people who are just getting into it is lynda.com. Have you heard of lynda.com?
No.
It's like a subscription based, $25 a month US, and it's world experts in all different areas, but especially in video production, like experts. So like
Wow.
the very best training for like Premiere Pro, the very
Yeah.
best training for Final Cut,
Mhm.
and for all the video gear. And so for $25 a month, like even if you only do it for like 1 month, like you can really gain a lot of
Wow.
knowledge that can like
Wow.
make a big difference. So that's
Amazing.
one resource that I still
Amazing.
use going
Let's
all the time.
let's take it back to how did you make that jump from a lawyer
Okay.
to a video guy? You know, because
Right.
I bet it was terrifying when in terms of you had a guaranteed paycheck, right?
Right,
Well,
yeah.
in a sense, a guaranteed paycheck.
Yeah.
And then you go into becoming your own boss where you're not guaranteed a paycheck. You have to work for that every single day. So take us through that feeling and that roller coaster that you're going through in that time.
Yeah, well, I remember like at that time, like I knew that I needed to change,
Mhm.
like, and I was okay with that change still being within law.
Yeah.
Like I was okay with that and open to that idea. But I was also, I was interested in videography. I was interested in entrepreneurship. So I was kind of interested in both, and I wasn't exactly sure which way to go.
Yeah.
And I thought that I might really like doing the entrepreneurship thing and
Yeah.
video production. I wanted to give it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember setting myself a deadline. I said, okay, about 3 months.
Yeah.
Like I need to see if I can make a go of this within 3 months.
Right.
And if I can, great. If I can't, I need to like jump ship and get back into law
Yeah.
like as fast as I can,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
you only go so long with
Yeah.
like resources and such. Like if things aren't working out, they're not working out, and maybe you got to try something else. But
Right.
you don't have like a year to figure it out. I figured I had about 3 months to figure it out.
Okay. Yeah.
I remember after that first month of really trying, of
Mhm.
like calling around, looking for different opportunities, emailing people, calling people, like doing what I could. I remember after the very first month, I was like, this is going to work.
Nice,
Like
nice.
there's opportunities out there
Wow.
for people who go looking
Wow.
for them.
Yeah.
And it's not going to, it didn't take 3 months to figure that out. It took about a
Mhm.
month before I knew
Wow.
that like it's going to be able to make a go of things.
And a lot of people don't go through that, you know. So I think one thing that Evan had I guess an advantage of is, and a lot of people underestimate this, is your personal brand. Evan, I got introduced to Evan through a friend of his who was a photographer, and he said, you know what, I know this guy who's up and coming, and I would recommend going to this guy named Evan. So it's really good to get those personal recommendations, because that, but he wouldn't have got that if he wasn't a nice person, if he wasn't actually had integrity for other people's businesses and so on, and trying to grow his network. If I was a jerk and people wouldn't recommend me to other people, you know what I'm saying? So you have to be the right person, and that's why it's proven that if you're the right person out there and genuinely interested in other people and trying to get other people to get ahead and so on in their business, his personal life, it comes back to you in different ways, right? So I can definitely see how this helped you in your business, because if you were a jerk, you wouldn't be here today. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't have got introduced to you. And we've done some amazing work together, right? And I've enjoyed all the times that we've had a chance to do some shoots, and it's been ongoing. It's been nonstop.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate, working with you, and I appreciate, that, like, I think it goes both ways too. Like, it's one thing for like you to be a nice guy, but then you also want to work with nice people too. And,
absolutely.
And so I appreciate what you
absolutely.
do for sure. So I mentioned in my office that we have a poster of my face on it. Well, we have a second poster, and it's got Selena's face on, and Selena works with me.
Okay.
And it says productivity and being really nice. That's what it says.
Nice.
Being
I like
really
that.
Nice.
That's a good point.
And so the top guys in my field, that's one of the things they teach. They said, like, being really nice is as important as your skill as a videographer. And so when you show up on like a shoot, or you're like talking to a client on the phone or emails, they said being really nice is as important as your skill level, which I thought was really interesting. And I follow these guys pretty closely and take their education courses. I remember this one time, over this little thing that they had done in their education course, this guy was like writing on their message board and just like harassing them about this little minor thing. And like, I looked at it and I was like, they have every right to like put this guy in his place and tell him like, what's what.
Yeah.
And they respond back to him in front of everybody and just, thank you for what you've said.
Yeah.
And, we see what you're saying and we understand. I was like, man, like these guys are like up here. The guy that was criticizing him
was way down there,
like nobody,
yeah.
And yet they were just so humble
Wow.
and so nice in all circumstances.
Wow.
And so, yeah,
it takes a lot of building your character for that kind of stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you said, though.
Yeah.
It makes just a huge difference. And I'm sure you find that.
Oh, absolutely. I try to treat everyone as best as I can out there. And I learned that the hard way in different ways growing up. And hopefully I don't make those same mistakes in business. So I'm trying my best not to do that. Evan, any last words out there for any startup entrepreneurs, expanding entrepreneurs, people trying to, take their lives to the next level using video. Any last words for them?
Yeah, I think that video is special. It's unlike any other type of like advertising or communication that you're going to do. And the most important thing to remember about it is that it's all about creating an emotional connection.
Yeah.
Like it's different from your website, from your brochures, your business cards, anything else that you do, because it has the potential to create an emotional connection with your target audience.
Right.
And the only way you're going to get that emotional connection is with a human touch. And so you can't do it with just your product or just your service. You have to show people as much as you possibly can. It's like you go to the movie theater. You're never going to see a movie that's anything else but about people.
Right.
Yeah, there might be aliens or dogs or something like that, but there's all going to be aliens that are like people and dogs that are basically like people.
Absolutely.
So it's got to be about people first and foremost. Doesn't matter what it is that you're trying to communicate. It's got to be about people.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Evan, for that.
Okay.
Where can we find you? I'm sure there's going to be people out there that want to reach out to you and ask more questions maybe. Where can they find you?
Facebook. I respond pretty quick on Facebook. So the Jenkins Media Facebook page, as well as my website, or you can email me. So
Jenkins-media? .ca?
.com.
.com. Okay, so that's where you can find Evan. I'm assuming there's people out there that will have more questions about video. I was one of them, and I reached out right away. So feel free to reach out to Evan. He's very punctual. He'll respond right away. So thank you again, Evan. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks a lot, Kendal.
You bet.
All
See
right.
ya.